Keys. Good morning.
What was that? What was that? Wait till it gets cold tomorrow night.
Yes. No, it's a report that Brenda had me make copies of everybody before she went to the meeting, so
All right, are we on? No.
not quite.
Pretty sure I turned mine off. Still off.
All right.
Here, I got two.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
If you want me to project this, you got the magic thingy, so our audience can see. Oh, I have this.
Yeah, I got one of those kind.
Just email it to me. Is that one of them funny phones?
I'm not that technical, so.
Where's put that screen up there just for you, Tom?
Other people are.
We had to modify the whole construction behind it just to get that accomplished.
Had you reinforce that wall?
Yeah, good thing we could put it in a change order for the construction.
It's 9 o'clock.
We still need it under library. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, January 22nd. Welcome to the weekly meeting of the Catalina County Commission, and we will open the meeting with a pledge. And whose turn is it this morning? I believe it's Troy? Brenda? Brenda, you want to lead us in the pledge this morning? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Morning, JT. Morning. Good to see you out this cold, blustery morning. It's not so blustery out. It's not bad. Couple of housekeeping chores. If you got a phone, cell phone, please silence it or turn it off. If you do get a call during the meeting that you need to take it, please step out into the rotunda area so you don't disrupt the meeting. This meeting is being streamed live for the convenience of those that cannot be in our attendance. At this time, is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the board that is not already on the agenda? Seeing none, are there any board members that find any items on the agenda that might be a conflict of interest? Seeing none, I'll
Make a motion
entertain a motion to approve the agenda. I have a motion by Hatton, second by Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
How about the minutes of
I'll
the
make a motion to
January 5th
approve
meeting?
as
I have a
emailed.
motion by Gable,
No.
by Van Duzen. Motion by Van Duzen, a second by Hatton. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and minutes are approved. Action to approve a request for sale of alcohol at the Extension Center for the annual Catalina County Pro Pheasant event. And we do have a gentleman here that represents Pro Pheasant. Come on up. Introduce yourself so you can get on TV.
Jason Hart with the Catalina County Pro Pheasants.
Can I just
Go ahead and have a
push
chair.
that button there on the front? There you go. Now talk
There,
into the
now
mic.
do it again.
Jason Hart with Catalina County Pro Pheasants. Asking for permission for our February 15th banquet to be able to have the sales of alcohol at the Extension Building. Jenny from 2nd Street will be in charge of the alcohol again. We always closely monitor the sales. They do their best to, not allow any minors into the building to consume alcohol. Event starts at 5:30. Usually everybody's out of there by 10. If we see somebody that's consumed too much alcohol, we cut them off and find them, a ride home or, a means of transportation to keep it safe, so.
I'll make that motion. I know that
We have a motion by Hatton, second by Waterman. Any discussion? This is something that we've done for several years now, many years, and we haven't had any issues with it.
I've attended the event myself, and it's very well run, so
Thank you.
I'd support that.
Any more discussion? Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And Second Street Station is the host, right? Yes. All right. Number 6 on the agenda is annual report from a Mr. Todd Keys, Executive Director of the First District Association of Local Governments. Good morning, Mr. Keys.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's all yours.
Thank you. Nice brisk day. I'm going to be talking off 2 sheets of paper. One is a pretty colorful one, and the other one's just plain and white. And for most of you, this is old hat from the perspective that you're aware of who the First Planning District is and the services that we provide to the county and the municipalities in Cottington County. But for the public's interest, I'm going to just review this colored brochure, and JT, I'll give you a copy of this when we're done. But the First District is one of 6 regional planning and development districts located in South Dakota. We have sister offices in Aberdeen, Pierre, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Yankton. We were created back in 1971 by Governor Frank Farrar through executive order. We're not government, but we're kind of government-like. We don't have taxing authority. Basically, we are a voluntary association of local units of government here in northeastern South Dakota. We have 76 communities in 11 counties, running from Roberts down to Moody, over to Minor, and back up to Clark. And our base mission in life has been to provide technical services to local units of government that enhance the quality of life and promotes economic development within the area. We have a 35-member board that meets 3 to 4 times a year. Currently, Brenda Hanton is the county commission rep from Cottington County. She's also the chair of the board. Glenn Vilhauer is our municipal rep, and Chris Shilkin is the at-large representative to our board. The governing body basically approves our work plan, they approve our budget, and they hire me on an annual basis. Knock on wood. As far as how we're funded, we have 3 streams of income that come into our office. About 22% of our operating costs are dues. All counties and municipalities with a population of over 100 pay dues. The dues are based on a per capita amount that was established in 2012 after the last census. We'll be looking at doing that again for next in 3 years or so, but we do it for 10 years out. So both the counties and us have a pretty good idea of where the ask is going to be. And the county actually approved that fee schedule back in 2012. We use those dues to leverage other state and federal grants. We do federal and state contract work, which is up to about 27% of our operating revenues. And then the rest of our income is in fee-for-service work. And that fee-for-service work is basically done at rates than less than what you would find in the private market. And that's just due to the power of the collective. We may not spend any time or money in Cottington County this year, and we'll divert all the efforts into Hamlin County, for example. That doesn't happen, but that's just an example of how we shift the money around. Currently, we have a staff of 14 individuals that work at the First District. I'm very blessed to have a very seasoned, tenured staff. Most of us have more than 10 years. I've been with the district. It'll be 26 years in May. And didn't see that happening 25 years ago. But I've been the director for the last 10 years. As far as what we do for our members, it's basically just ask, and we'll try anything once. But we do a lot of applications, a lot of grant applications, a lot of loan applications for community and economic development projects. If those projects get funded, we in turn carry out the administrative aspects of dotting the I's and crossing the T's, because there's no such thing as free money. And so we do project administration. A lot of planning and research, any sort of book report study, something that you want to find information on, we will conduct that analysis. And lots of times we'll do a lot of base analysis as well. We do a lot of specialty work, tax increment financing, geographic information systems is a huge part of what we do in the office. 4 people work solely in the maintenance of GIS databases, web hosting of GIS data. We use GIS data in grant applications and planning projects, and it's just an integral part of who we are. We also have 4 people in the office that work with our development company. Our First District Development Company is managed by Paula Hulsher and her staff. And basically what we do is we're a small business administration certified development company where we partner with local lending institutions to provide capital to individuals that are looking at creating new businesses or expanding existing businesses, not only in the county but statewide. And then we're just out there making sure that our members are aware of the different fundings, sources, and things that are going on legislatively and what have you. As far as what's your bang for the buck, why are we belonging? There's so many things that we do for you that you can't really put a cost value on it. So we usually come back to what do we do for grants and outside sources of income coming into the district. And last year, we were able to help our members obtain $28.8 million in grants and loans that came into our 11-county region, of which $8 million was solely in grants. So if you take the amount of dues and divide that into $8 million, we had about a $30 return on investment district-wide last year. Since 2008, where I started as the director, we've put in about $65 million and about a $26 return just on outside income. And again, that's not because we're special and we're great. We do know where the closets of money are, and we do have relationships established with those funders. And so it's really our local entities that are taking the time to invest into their own communities, and we just help as a conduit and facilitate that process. In Cottington County this year, we didn't do hardly very much grant writing at all, and that happens. I think in the 11 years, this is the twice that where we didn't do much grant writing, but we've had a lot of projects have been going on over the last 10 or 11 years. And so this year, our return on investment wasn't great, only 13 cents on the dollar's worth of dues based on grants. But if you take a look at what we've been doing for the last 10 or 11 years, it's about $21 for every dollar's worth of dues. So again, it's just one metric that we use to measure on. Then the last page I show you is I was talking a little bit about our development company. Last year we did 3 deals in Cottington County where we helped out in loaning out $709,000 worth, $1.9 million worth of private projects that went on as far as new businesses and expanding businesses in the county. So I'm going to talk off of the white paper.
Do you have another one of those?
Did you get?
I can't find it. I'll just leave it.
Oh, I'm sorry. On the Cottington County activities page, you can just see that we do a lot of different things for the county. We maintain a lot of different GIS databases. Some are state databases that we use for the county. The 911 database, we provide all the information to the Watertown Dispatch Center for the 6 counties that they manage 911. We assisted assigning addresses in those 6 counties areas. We web host the county's GIS website. We maintain the parcel data sets that Shawnee uses for assessment process. Luke Muller, as you're all aware, has been the zoning officer since I was the zoning officer. So we've been doing that service since 2004. Luke worked with the county in developing wind energy system regulations last year. Jackie Erickson in our office worked with pre-disaster mitigation, as did Greg Mogg, and we did a pre-disaster mitigation plan for Jim, which was funded in 16, but finally approved here at the beginning of January of 18. And then just recently, I sat down and learned how to do bridge and highway plans with Rick, and it was a learning process. But I did 9 of them this year, so it was interesting. But we got that done, so at least now we can make the county eligible to apply for big funds. In Florence, we've just been administrating the water and sewer project there that's been going on since 15, and that's closing up. Same thing in Kransberg in the sewer rural water project that's going on there. That just finished up this last year too. Do a lot of things with the city of Watertown as far as acting as a conduit between the county and the city so that we all know what's going on. Luke attends Planning and Zoning Board of Adjustment meetings. I'm on the Watertown Planning Commission, but I do that on my own time, not as part of the district. We maintain a lot of the city's databases as well. We've been administering the Watertown Boys and Girls Club grant. That project just finished up here, but that's been going on for a couple of years. We've been working with the city for, seems like a long time, several years on the land use plan, which is supposed to be coming up and getting completed this spring. And then you can see the rest of it. We do planning and zoning activities in Florence, Henry, Kransberg, and South Shore as well. We did write a district-wide grant last year, which Cottington County's share was about $6,300. And so you can just see those numbers the rest of the numbers are consistent with what we had in the previous handout. The mantra always is, all you have to do is ask. And we're never there twiddling our thumbs waiting for the door to open or the phone to ring because somebody's always busy. We are busy. And so if there's something we can do for you, all you have to do is give us a jingle. And again, we appreciate the relationship that Cottington County has shared with the First District for almost 50 years. It'll be 50 a year in about a year and a half. So I'm just here to take any questions, any comments, anything that you might have an interest or anything I can help you with.
Anyone? I would say that First District has been just a very, very good partnership to have. I know myself personally, I have had and wanted questions answered and always went to, it was primarily either Todd or Luke, and they were right there with giving me some direction and giving me the answer, and I appreciate it very much. Appreciate the cooperation.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other board members?
I would echo the same, that you're a very good resource and always willing to look into things and help us understand how it works or find out information. So I've appreciated being part of the board.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Please
All right.
pass on to your staff as well how much we appreciate the work that you guys do.
Yes, we appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Todd.
Yep.
Thank you for coming in and sharing that with us. Have a good week. Let's go to monthly reports, and we only have one today, Jim. You got the whole show. I got the whole. Yeah.
Oh, good morning. I only have a couple things this morning. Begin with the Sheriff's Office, Prairie Lakes Hospital, Watertown Fire Department, and myself continue working with that Stop the Bleed program. And we're in the process of reaching out to different organizations to help fund the project. We're having another meeting on February 7th at Prairie Lakes Hospital, but right now we're have the project about 50% funded, and we're continuing along that route. We hope to have everything in place to where we can do training of school staff prior to the start of this upcoming school year, and get the Stop the Bleed kits into the schools before school starts in the fall of 2019.
Jim, if I might interrupt, could you, just so our listening audience, whoever they may be, explain the Stop the Bleed project?
Okay. The Stop the Bleed program is a statewide program that was initiated, started down in Sioux Falls. And basically what it is to put tourniquets and other supplies into the schools and other government buildings so that if you have somebody that is seriously bleeding, they've got a femoral artery that's suffered or whatever, doctors have found that if you can get that tourniquet on within the first minute or so, that we can save lives. And so that's the purpose of the program, and we're headed down that road.
Thank you.
Okay. Next thing I've got is tomorrow I'll be attending the Regional Emergency Management meeting up in Aberdeen. This is one of our required meetings. You've already seen the travel request on that, but I will be out of town tomorrow for that meeting up in Aberdeen. On February 6th, we'll be having first responder pipeline safety training again this year. That would be at 2nd Street Station starting at 5:30. But again, that is pipeline safety training that we have through the South Dakota Pipeline Association. And they put on some excellent training that the first responders can attend for free. The search and rescue team, this last month, we were called down to Clark County to help get 3 boys off of the lake down there, dry lake, due to the thin ice that they were on. The team arrived just as local firefighters had got the boys off, so we didn't use the hovercraft down there, but it was ready to be used had they not been one step ahead of us. But
And they're all safe.
they're all safe. Yep, they were very cold, but safe. And the only other thing I've got is the rosters and stuff. This is the next thing on the agenda, I believe.
Yep. And you have, let's go ahead and just go right to that.
Okay.
Action to approve rosters for various volunteer and workers.
Great.
Compensation papers, the first one is the Cottington County Search and Rescue. And everybody should have that in their packet.
Make a motion
want a copy?
to
No,
approve that.
All right.
Make a motion to approve.
Actually, we can take all of these at once.
All right.
So
and-
we've got the Cottington County Search and Rescue roster, the Weather Spotter
Weather-
volunteers roster, Camp Chance volunteers, and LEPC
LEPC.
membership. And this is a requirement of our workers' comp insurance that if we have these volunteers that are covered under our policy, we need to note that the rosters are filed with the auditor each year.
So we'll
Move
do
to
it all with
approve.
one motion.
Yes.
All right, I move to approve
We have
all
a
the
motion by
rosters.
Hatton to accept the list of volunteers. Is there a second to that? Motion, second by Gable. Any discussion?
You have one opening on your Squad B, is that correct?
We have some openings, more than one. Yep.
Okay.
And as they are filled, will you get those names to us so that we can add them?
That is our intention is to get that name to you right away.
Very good. That way we'll be covered for workman's comp. Any more discussion? Anything else? Anything else? Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The list is confirmed. Thank you, Jim.
Jim is also
Title VI.
Title VI.
Yep. That's number 9 on the agenda. Action to authorize the chair to sign the Title VI policy statement and publication of the same, and that is in your packet as well. You have 2 parcels there. Jim, you want to explain?
What I'll do is I'll just read through the Cottington County Title VI policy statement here quickly. Cottington County provides services without regard to race, color, gender, religion, national origin, age, or disability, according to the provisions contained in SDCL 20-13, Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, as amended, the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, and Executive Order 12898, Federal Actions to Address Environmental Justice in Minority Populations and Low-Income Populations, 1994. It is the policy of Cottington County to ensure that no person or group of persons shall be subjected to discrimination, excluded from participation in, or denied benefit of any program administered by the county on the grounds of race, color, national origin, religion, sex, age, disability, or other statutorily prescribed basis. To ensure compliance, Cottington County has designated myself, James Sutton, as the Title VI coordinator, and we publish my contact information. If any person has any question concerning this policy or believes they have been discriminated against, should contact myself at the Emergency Management Office at 882-6272.
Move
And-
to, oh, you're going to read the other one too?
No, I wasn't going to read that one.
Okay.
The other one is a publication.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
the publication, but
All right.
basically, that's describing the program. And what this really affects is our federal contracts that we administer, like through the county highway department. And if somebody feels that they've been, excluded on a highway contract or any other federal program, they can contact me at the Emergency Management Office, and we have a policy set up on how we will handle those complaints.
All right, you heard that.
Move
Good
to
discussion
approve.
and explanation. Motion by Van Duzen. Hatton, second
Second.
by Van Duzen. Any discussion? Any discussion?
This is an annual requirement. Every year, we adopt the policy and publish the statement.
And every year we adhere to it. Seeing more discussion, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you, Jim.
Okay? Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good week. Let's go on to number 10, discussion and action to appoint members of the weed board, and you have in your packet the gentlemen that we are referring to here. There's 2, 4, 6 of them. I think they're all the same ones that we've had last year.
Actually, what we're doing is reappointing Jim
Yep.
Tian, and Brett Henricks to another term. Their terms will now end in 2021.
Motion by Waterman, second by Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Number 11, action to approve change orders for courthouse remodel project. Harley, you gonna take this, or Gable? Gable, all right.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Let me show the chart here. This is a change order. We are working through a lot of the IT requirements, trying to get that right and finalized. Obviously, we want to get it right. And so we had, so since it's court IT and it has to do with the courtroom presentation technologies, this is something that can be paid out of the law library fund. I don't know if you can see, I don't have a mouse to move here, but so we had a deduction on PR 19 right there where the green box is. So that was a deduction. So the non-parentheses that's a credit basically. So and then this one basically enables the court to use a camera for ITV. So to use there's a large flat screen going into the courtroom, so they want to be able to add a camera to that camera they already own, and all the hardware and software and stuff that goes with it, so that you can use the TV, the large TV with the camera to be able to do video court when you need to. So that's what that is. And so still ahead on the IT side for a net positive. So the motion is to approve this one, and the amount, so this is PR 20, that's the contractor's number, and the amount is $6,018.
Is that, we have a motion? That was a
That's my
motion, right?
yeah.
Okay, motion by Gable,
I'll
second
it.
by Hatton. Any discussion?
You said these funds will come out of the law
Yeah,
library.
Assume, there is, as long as we have enough, and I think we're still okay with that. There's 77,000 in that
Is
account
this
right
going to
now.
be broken down on a future pay request so that we know?
Which one goes to with what? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And we've talked about this before. I should remind the contractor of that, but we've talked
Okay.
about it before, being able to tease out which
To
one goes with
designate,
what.
yeah.
Yeah, so you can write the check from the right account.
Yeah.
Waterman, you had a question?
Yes, I do, and it's not related to a change order, but it is the courthouse. I was up there looking at this week, and the discussion came up that there's a 90-inch television going
Yep.
against that wall. And
Yeah, here's-
why the 90-inch?
Okay, that's part of this changeover. We're changing the 90-inch to an 80-inch. So this includes a credit for the 90, but there's a restocking fee for that. So there's some small amount, and then the 80-inch. So the 90-inch originally was there because it's going to be across the courtroom from the jury. None of us like that big of a TV, so we asked to make it a little smaller for aesthetic reasons, because now you can zoom in. So part of this change order is to take it, if you look at the...
And then the mount, why is that going to be the same mount, or is that going to
Good question.
require
Yeah,
some
good.
changes
That
to
wasn't-
the walls?
Yeah, no, that doesn't require any change to the
Any
walls.
structural?
No, but what we did decide to change the mount this change order doesn't include that. It should have included an articulating mount, so, which changing from one mount to the other. So the articulating mount allows you to move the TV, in any direction you want to. I talked to the contractor this morning saying, why isn't it in there? And so they said, we'll take care of it. Don't worry. We'll just change it out with no charge. So that was, I don't know if that was a bit of an oversight, but they were willing to, I don't know what it was, but they're going to take care of that part of it too. So that's
Good
it.
question.
I mean, we've been wrestling with that TV for a couple months now. Trying
Well,
to
that's what he said, and I
Yeah.
just wanted to bring it
Yeah.
up to the public, that's all.
Yeah, so
90 inch, that'd be a good TV to watch Super Bowl on, wouldn't it?
I don't think, I don't think that would be it. But if you want, if you look at the last page here, where that's those last two items, so trade in of the 90-inch, bring in an 80-inch. So there's actually a switch out there. The overall, because of all the other hardware, that's what sends the cost up to be able to use that camera for video court. So.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any more discussion? Good discussion. Thank you, Harley. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Is that it for change orders then, Lee?
Yeah, for now, Mr. Chairman, just to
Yeah.
let folks know on the, I think the other one that's going to be pending is on the security walls. We've been refining that one. So as we get into a discussion about security to make sure that every part of the new remodel, judge's chamber, courtroom is secure, we're talking about a wall going into the vestibule, the north vestibule. So to split that up. And then the good part about that is you wouldn't have to use the doors on the, there's no doors on the inside part of that vestibule, so that could still stay open. So, but that's coming down the pike.
All right.
So,
Okay, let's go on then to number 12, claims for payment. Do we have any today?
We have 3 claims for payment. The first one is to Crawford Ostis Funeral Chapel for an indigent burial in the amount of $2,575. The other 2 are our our Reliabank visas that we pay at this time of the month to avoid service charges. The first one is in the amount of $152.25, and that is for various supplies and fuel for the sheriff's office. The second one is to Reliabank Visa, $250.51 for the emergency management, mailing fees, and various supply fees.
All right, you heard the request.
Move to approve.
Motion by Van Duzen, second by Hatton. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Any budget supplements?
None today.
Pretty early in the year yet. Action to approve personnel changes. We have a couple of them. Go ahead, Cindy. They're in your packet.
Tyler Varnes is a deputy in the sheriff's office. He's due his anniversary increase to step 3, $22.71 an hour. Jared Olson is a deputy sheriff. He's due an anniversary step increase to step 10, $27.10 an hour. Janelle Nygaard is an office personnel in the sheriff's office. She's due her increase to step 11, $21.12 per hour. Ashley Lindner is a clerk in the treasurer's office. She's due her step increase to step 6, $17.75 an hour. Rebecca Morlock Reeves is the state's attorney's office. You have approved, or you have had discussions with her to move her to step 8, $49.74 per hour. Jamie Dolan is maintenance 3 at the highway department. He was due an anniversary step increase back in November. He should have gone to step 6, $21.89, so he will be paid back wages for November and December. And then Lynn Solberg is the assistant highway superintendent, and the highway superintendent recommends giving him the cost of living allowance 2%, and he will go to $27.20 per hour.
Move to approve those personnel
We have
changes.
a motion by who made that?
Brenda.
Hatton, a second by Waterman. Any discussion? Quite a few employees moving up a step. Good. Any more discussion? Anything else? Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Old business, we have any old business to discuss this morning?
Point of order, do we have any travel requests? We're on number 15.
No, there's no travel requests, is there?
No, none have come in.
No.
Just
Go on that old business?
On the travel request, it's not really, I'm going back and forth between here and Pier on the, just to let everybody know on that one. So, for, during the legislative session.
I don't know if I understood what you said there.
No, I'm going back and forth between here and Pier during the legislative session. That's all, just highlighting that point.
Your mileage.
Yeah, so I am claiming
Yeah.
mileage, yeah.
Brenda, did you have a chance to talk to Kathy Turback about the housing board?
I texted her and haven't heard back.
Okay,
I'll
let me know
follow
when
up.
you, that's something
I
for a
will.
future agenda, we need to
Get that on.
redo that resolution for the
Parade
housing.
Planning Board, I'm gonna meet with them this afternoon.
Oh, yeah, I had word from Jody that she is still looking for
Yeah,
people to serve on the 4-H promotion board.
I have that
Okay.
evaluation to do on her, so I'll be there this afternoon. All right, let's go on to old business again. Any old business, any mature business? Any old business? Seeing none, is there any new business? Any new business, any,
I left a copy of, I attended the 911 meeting last week, so I have made a copy for each of you to look over, just for your information. Also, just as a point of interest, I had my ICAP meeting last week, and the VITA program, which is a volunteer income tax assistance program, they'll be starting up January 28th. They are more so for households under $54,000 and not real complicated sort of tax returns, but you could contact the ICAP office here in Watertown if you'd qualify for that assistance, and that is free of charge for individuals who would qualify.
all right, is there any other new business?
So, Mr. Chairman, just a
Yes.
couple things. I should have mentioned our old business. We did have the JDAI meeting, what was it, last week?
Last week.
Last week, yeah. So that was, I was a participant by phone. Yeah, thank you. I don't know why that's so hard to think about.
I'm here for you.
Thanks. So, not really an exciting meeting. We went through some of the data again. Again, the juvenile numbers are low. So, trying to look at some of the nuances of whether or not you override. Say, every time a juvenile is arrested and brought to jail, they do a risk assessment instrument to say, does this juvenile really need to be incarcerated? So, typically, most of the time, when they do those risk assessment instruments, so it's basically a form they fill out. It's objective information like prior offenses, the type of offense, and most of the time it says we need to have an alternative for those youth or send them home. Very rarely do you have to incarcerate. So we have a pretty good ratio of having to deviate from the risk assessment results. So that's a credit, I think, to law enforcement and the jail and the judicial system, and trying to handle that very carefully. And then on the legislative thing we've been talking about, the authority to give counties the ability to ask their voters for have some sales tax. Got a bill number on that, so that's SB 65. I just checked.
SB 65?
Yeah, Senate Bill 65. So that's so you can take a look at what that is, and I'll keep you posted on when the committee hearings are, as well as commissioners in other counties.
Okay.
guess.
Anything else for new business?
I would also like to mention Cindy sent out an email about spring workshop. I would highly recommend, especially the couple newer ones, to attend something that we're going to try to do on years after election year. Is there's going to be more sessions dedicated for the new people, kind of to explain to them the process and stuff. And I think that looks, I'm even going to say it on that. It's something always that you can learn new things, and I think it will be a really good refresher, and for the new ones coming in, that hopefully that will help
And I plan to
explain
attend.
things better.
You'll need to fill out those forms that I sent you. I'll need you to fill, if you plan on attending, I sent you the registration form. I'll need to have you print that out and file it with me.
Everybody hear that?
So that is also, the date is March 13th and 14th, and it will be in Pier at this point.
Those are good sessions.
Okay. How about for the open? We have a planning meeting right after this meeting this morning at 12:30 at the Extension Center. Probably there'll be a quorum of commissioners there, but we already advertised it that way. Is there any other meetings that we have where there'll be a quorum? I should look at my book. Notice I got a strawberry this year. Now my blackberry is done. Blackberry? Oh yeah, we have another planning meeting later in the week too. One, and it was actually advertised in the paper. It's a special meeting starting the work on the CAFOs, and that's scheduled for 1 o'clock on Thursday, the 24th, just for the general public.
So that's, okay, just to clarify, so the one today is that's a regular
That's a
planning-
regular meeting
Regular
today.
meeting, and then the
Yeah.
special meeting for public input is
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yep. Yep.
I had one more thing, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Just on the paper put a nice picture of the courtroom, it's almost done state on the front page. So it's nice to have the coverage. Just a clarification on what the word walkthrough means. We talked sometime soon, it's probably not going to be this week, Thursday. Sometime soon, there's going to be a walkthrough, which is basically the inspection of when the county, the contractor, the architect all go through the space to make sure that, to see what little details still need to be done, what's done, can we go ahead and start using the space or not. So that's kind of another word to think about walkthrough. It's kind of like the first inspection of the space, so.
On that note, Lee, I've had several people asking, are we going to do an open house, which I think would be a real nice gesture, is to do an open house before they're up and running.
I've been thinking about that. So the courtroom itself should be ready within a couple weeks, I think. We're trying to work out some of this IT stuff. The security checkpoint, that's going to take another month at least to do that. So, yeah, I've been thinking about it too. I think we should do that as well. I just haven't.
Is it best to wait till it's all done?
Yeah, well, it might be good to wait till it's all done so people can see what the security checkpoint is. So
I
that's
think
going to be a difference.
A lot of people are going to be not concerned, probably want to see and want to understand the checkpoint.
Yeah, they'll probably be a little surprised. So we may wait until after that's done. But yeah, I've been thinking the same thing. It's
Be good.
yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Yep.
All right, so at this point in time, there is we will contact the chamber as far as the ribbon cutting. I think there should be a ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
And get that on the agenda on their calendar as well. All right, is there anything else for the open? I do not have any requests for an executive session
Make a motion
today.
that we adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion by Hatton to adjourn, second by Gable. Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Did you get my text or my email?
We are adjourned. Thank you, people. Thank you, press, for weathering the storm. Not much of a storm, but